Have you ever had a 4Runner adventure? If you have, you definitely remember it. The Toyota 4Runner is capable of providing you with unforgettable experiences, especially once you get it off the pavement. In fact, we're gonna have one today. So hop inside and come along for this wild ride. Hey there, I'm Ryan with Edmunds. Each year, we painstakingly test and review hundreds of cars, while CarMax experts buy, sell, and appraise thousands and thousands. We're combining our car testing knowledge with their experience to help you make the right choice on your next car. But hey, before we get too far along on this trail, why don't you go ahead and leave us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the CarMax channel to see more adventure videos like this one. If you want to read an in-depth article about how to find the exact right 4Runner for your needs, click the link in the description below. So what is the 4Runner? Well, it's an iconic SUV for the Toyota brand, renowned for its spacious cargo area and especially its serious off-road chops. This is the 5th generation 4Runner that debuted all the way back in 2010, if you can believe it. What we have here is a 2019 model, and Toyota is still making them pretty much unchanged for 2022, possibly even beyond. Here's what you get: 4 doors and 2 or 3 rows of seats for your passengers. You can get basic models with a few amenities, luxurious models with additional style and comfort, or the baddie off-road versions with seriously rugged features. CarMax sells 2019 4Runners, like this one, for an average of about $41,500. The 4Runner has plenty of competition. The Subaru Forester, even though it's a little smaller, and then of course there's the Jeep Wrangler, which is even more of a hardcore off-roader. But back to the 4Runner. What do you say we hit these trails? Today, we're heading to a popular bouldering site, which we've selected specifically because it's really hard to get to. Out here, you need a 4-wheel drive vehicle with good ground clearance to get through this terrain and over these rocks. Luckily, the 4Runner is exactly what the doctor ordered. Now, this is a 4Runner TRD Off-Road Premium model, which means it comes with lots of helpful equipment. For instance, there's a locking rear differential to give you some extra brute strength when you need to muscle through some hairy stuff. And on TRD models, there's an optional upgraded suspension called KDSS, which gives you more articulation when you're on a road like, well, the one we're on right now. This 4Runner does not come with KDSS, but it's still handling itself pretty well. And like all TRD models, you do get a terrain select mode up here, so you can pick exactly what kind of terrain you're going over, and the 4Runner will adjust accordingly. Out here, the 4Runner feels right at home. Now, this is a body-on-frame SUV, meaning it's actually built more like a truck than your standard, everyday, modern family crossover. So that means that from time to time, it feels a little bit uncomfortable on the road and on the highway. But out here, with that 4-liter V6 sending power to all 4 wheels, it's a dream. One neat trick is Toyota's A-Track system. It's like advanced traction control, and it applies the brakes to the wheels that don't need power, so you get it to the wheels that do. Switch it on and use the 4-low gear, and you'll have plenty of tech to get out of most jams. But if you really need more, there's a cool feature called crawl control. Switch that on and then use the dial to adjust your speed, and you can take your foot off the gas pedal. 4Runner does the rest. Going down a hill. Ooh. One thing to know is that it's pretty noisy and it may sound like your 4Runner is about to break, but that just means it's working. Oh my gosh, are you seeing this? All in all, it is really dang impressive. Let's talk about the 4Runner on the inside. Well, it's big, it's comfy, and there's lots of room for your head to bounce around while you're going over rocks or cracks in the trail. Now, because the 4Runner is so upright and so high off the ground, you get great outward visibility from all angles. You can sit back and enjoy the scenery. As for the interior overall, it's a bit old school in more ways than one. There are big slabs of plastic all the way throughout, and you get a teeny tiny little screen. On the upside, it is easy to clean, and there are big dials and buttons that will be really easy to find even if you're on a dusty trail. Now in the back seat, there's limited leg room, but the seats do slide and recline, so that helps a lot. I also really like these seats because they feel like the right balance of soft and supportive. So you have good cushioning if you're going over a rock, but they also hold you in place if you're hitting a part of the trail that's leaning you from side to side. Now, to hold your passengers in place, there are big beefy grab handles so that they can feel secure. This interior is nicer than a Wrangler, and the car's about 90% as capable. Being enormous and shaped like a refrigerator, the 4Runner has a lot of usable space. With the seats folded up, it's 46.3 cubic feet back here, which is really good for the class. And then once you fold them down, that improves to 88.8 cubic feet, which is even better for the class. But what does all that space really mean? Well, it means a lot of room for your sleeping bags and blankets and this crash pad, which is probably about to save my life. Some models even have a slide-out tray. You can use this space that opens up to store ropes or hiking poles, but what I really like is creating this workbench area to lay out all your stuff. You can even cook up dinner back here. I also like all these hooks for holding flashlights and other items, plus these tie-downs for keeping things secure. Finally, one more cool thing is the way the rear seats fold down. First, the seat bottom folds up against the front seats, which allows the seat backs to go down almost all the way flat. Now you know what you've got? A bed. Throw some pillows and blankets in there. You're overlanding, baby. So what can you expect when it comes to fuel economy? Well, it ain't great. The 4Runner gets an EPA-rated 18 mpg combined, which is worse than a Dodge Durango with a V6 engine. And based on our years of testing at Edmunds, if you're off-roading, you can expect to see that number drop. But you're not shopping for fuel-sipping crossovers. You're shopping for 4Runners. And this is what they do best. Okay, so maybe I'm not free soloing today, but the fact remains, 4Runners are the billy goats of the SUV world. They're able to scurry up almost any environment and get you and your gear almost anywhere you need to go. Of course, if you are heading off into the wilderness, it's important to remember off-roading can be dangerous. Plan ahead by knowing the area, bringing plenty of supplies, and checking your warranty or service plan to make sure it doesn't impact your coverage. There are infinite ways to personalize the 4Runner for your exact needs. But whether you modify them or not, these are excellent vehicles for exploring and conquering. You know, just like me. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the CarMax channel for more adventure videos like this one. And if you'd like to read a full in-depth article on the Toyota 4Runner and all of its competitors, click the link in the description below.